on.
We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium. Steelers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25, 2015, Jameis Winston.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
First carry now for the rookie from SC. It's Ronald Jones fighting through, and he's got it up there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Next, the receivers have spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings.
Starts offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 2nd down.
They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And some room to work. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, where that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the team.
That's caught inside the 35. And he's brought down after a good game.
On the offensive side of the ball, I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 6 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ready? Black 25.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Getting a first quarter lead. This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Go forever and ever, and it tells you've gone somewhere, but you're really out here in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Maurice Alexander making the stop defensively.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, Roethlisberger. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series. On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
On second down, it's Bell. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Flushed out right. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
He had a good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And coming up on the drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him. 15 big yards. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball.
Defense.
And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They go play action here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
They'll run it here. This is Rodgers. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
It's a gain of 5, and that'll make it second down.
Now, that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Jameis to throw it. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
To throw, Winston. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
They'll give it to him up the middle. A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. It's a solid pickup, 8 yards, but work still to do now on 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Now they nabbed the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
3rd and goal, Winston. And he can't quite hit
Been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So that drive began at their own 3. They wind up getting 3 out of it.
And to me, the mentality to begin the drive, that was probably the key to everything. Let's just make sure we take care of the football, give ourselves some room, and maybe punt it away. Instead, it started at the 3, and it ended with 3 points.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
The numbers for Antonio last week. 4 catches, 78 yards.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. William Golston. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And an early sack there for Tampa Bay. Charles, that is a welcome sight.
A sight for sore eyes, you might say, right? Just 22 sacks on the season in 2017. And what they're hoping that some of their...
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Holding. Offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back.
Oh, the Bucs swarm in, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And a big play there, and they will wind up taking possession in the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 17. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you. No. However form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. From the shotgun, it's Winston. This will be caught at about the 6. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the field.
And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting runs, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but there must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for a cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
Here's Jordan Berry now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field.
And they have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Ready, blue ready.
Now a play fake here on first down. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. A very solid gain of 27.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get that little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committees, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that?
Ready, go.
First down, Winston. Over the middle to Evans. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
Ready, white 25, let's go.
On second down, it's Jones. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Let's go now.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. They went backwards 5 yards there on third down to bring up fourth. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And the lead now increases to 20-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they...
Now Bell hit. He lost the football.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On second down, here's Roethlisberger. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Bell. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brent Grimes, and they will take over at the 26-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Bud Dupree. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line. And he may want to track down that football, because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 7 yards on the play, and it'll make it a second down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it.
And it's caught. It's Brown. Touchdown, Steelers. Antonio Brown, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good. We're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And he'll go out of bounds across the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Jameis now on first down. Right side caught by Jackson. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown. Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down. Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away. Throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watched that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball. Right, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player? Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Jameis now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. They'll throw again. Winston. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play.
Ready? Black 22.
Winston now to throw on first down. On the crossing route, complete. That's Jackson. A gain of 6 there on first. The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it. They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Again, it's Winston. He gets it to Humphries. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Winston and Humphries connecting there for a Tampa Bay first down. Winston of the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 6 of 7 now on this drive. Jameis again. And this is caught by Jackson for a Buccaneer touchdown. Deshaun Jackson as the first half is winding down. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them. Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Fielded about a yard deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive, and we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that could be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Goes underneath for Bell. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Off the play fake, Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Ready. Black 22.
Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
Not a great start to this drive. You had the sack, now the false start.
I mean, it doesn't take much to either read lips or just imagine what the head coach is saying right now. Get your head in the game, guys. Let's go.
Ready.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. 11 yards on the pickup, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Well, it looks like they caught him off guard on 2nd and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters and doing things opposite the grain, and that worked very well for them. Picked up really nice yardage, but they still have a lot of work to do on 3rd down.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. From the gun, Winston. Jackson's got it over the middle. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Brent Grimes. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
Ready. Blue ready. Play that.
Following the interception, Winston. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's brought down. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Ready. Black 22.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Black 22.
Another carry now for Rodgers. Fights through and now a crease. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jacquizz Rodgers with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the interception by the Bucs D leads to a touchdown. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And the Steelers set to take the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Well, past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Roethlisberger. And he's going to be out of bounds at the 39. Roethlisberger hooking up with Brown to get the Steelers a first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son, and then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
Flush to his right. They find some open field here. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact.
Holding offense.
They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert, second-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
4 down. Set. Blue 30.
Roethlisberger will throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And Boswell's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Now it's Adam Humphries on the return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at the 34. Working out of the gun, Winston. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. That'll put him right on the doorstep of a 200-yard game. He's at 199 as he picks up the first.
Ready. White 25.
On 1st and 10, Winston drops it to Jones in the flat. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. The Bucs on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Take it inside. Back now in Tampa. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
When you try to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
On the ground, Rodgers. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. This will be from 49 yards out. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple of extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out come the Steelers. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Like 30. Got three down.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Let's go. Hey, that's it! Like 80.
On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he connects with Vance McDonald. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
Snickers, like 20. Snickers.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The former first-round pick, Vernon Hargreaves, the one who was there defensively. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
William Golston in on the stop. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a first down.
And there's a man they call AB, always a volume receiver. He gobbles up catches. Holds the number 2 and number 4 spots for most receptions in a season in NFL history. And in 2015, just 7 catches shy of setting the single-season mark for most receptions, currently held by Marvin Harrison, a Hall of Famer.
He had 136 catches that year on the heels of 129 the season before. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action, maybe throwing it.
He'll get it up the middle, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the... And down he goes, a Buccaneers sack. Levante David not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Hard throw, incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long. And
got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. And you don't see the fake field goal often. Here it works for a touchdown.
And sometimes you see it called in the biggest stages. How about a couple of years ago, Packers-Seahawks, and the Seahawks trying to rally? Fake field goal helped them win it and go to the Super Bowl.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, my man, what do you need? What's going on here? There's always one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
And they'll go on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
As many games as the two of us do, I would hope that one day we'll be able to solve this riddle. Why is it on a hot day that one team has more trouble with the heat than another, and especially when you can't stop a guy running the ball?
You know it's September in the booth, though, when you and I have both removed our coats, and those were gone in the first quarter.
They were gone in the first quarter, and what we're watching now is a defense mentally giving in and sagging a little bit because they haven't been able to stop him.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Now a play fake here on first down. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he stopped immediately there. It's Big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
On third down, that's Barber. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. And the Steelers signal for another timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. Here's Brian Anger now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
Pass interference. Defense.
PI penalty.
He runs at defensive backs with such speed and power. I think it creates panic on their end, and a lot of times they just reach out and grab him, and that's the result there, a pass interference call.
Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes.